No, you don't understand. I'm here to rescue you.
You're lying! I know the Galactic Federation wants to silence everyone who knows about our work here.
Hello there, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to this week's episode where we'll be talking Metroid Other M for the Nintendo Wii. Before we do that, we're going to do some plugs real quick. Linktree/Retrotopia, where you can find our social medias, Patreon, and our merch page. Check out the merch page I did recently, and it's really easy to use. You can use, TeePublic, or there was another one. There's a bunch of ways to do it, and I can vouch for the quality personally. It's good stuff, and we got new designs that go up there all the time. So wear it proud, wear it out. Retrotopia merch over at TeePublic. Also, join our Discord. Discord's fun, and our Patreon. That's all at Linktree. And let's give a special shout out and thank you to our newest patron, Shane's World. Welcome, buddy. It's good to have you. And thanks also for joining the Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, I'd suggest it. It's a fun time. I think I plugged that later in the episode too. If it sounds like I'm talking fast, there's a lot to get to. We had a ton of comments this week, so thank you. If you just want to listen to us talk about Metroid Other M, and we have a lot to say, skip forward a bit. I don't know if we have what do you call them, markers in the description, but maybe we should add them. Whatever, I don't know, just skip around, you'll find it. But stick around, because we do all kinds of comments from the listeners, and we have our new game that I get to play this week, and I'm really excited, called Choose One, Lose One, and I'll describe what that is if you're a new listener in just a bit. But let's start out with our listener comments with the 9-bit banter box. Alright, first one comes from Blue Yoshi 94, who says, "Hello Sam, hope you're having a good day." Thank you, it was alright. My question for you is, what are the top 5 games you wish never to be on Switch Online? This is an interesting one, because I think last time I had an intro, you asked what are the Wii U games I wanted brought to the Switch, or just brought to modern consoles. That was a really cool question. This one's cool too, but I'm all for game preservation, so I don't really think there's anything that I can think of that I wouldn't want on NSO. So I'm sorry if that's a boring answer, but give me all the games. Yeah, I don't want anything to get lost, even if it sucks. There's games that I probably wouldn't play, but I don't know. That said, I think we talk about it a little bit in the episode. The Wii was a very shovelware heavy episode, because suddenly lots of middle-aged and older people were playing the Wii because it was so accessible and fun with the motion controls. So you had a lot of bullshit fitness games and family board night games and stupid shit that isn't really fun to play. In my opinion, I don't know, maybe you had a good time with it. So not to knock it, but those are the things that you're not going to find at your retro shop, because they won't even buy them off of people. You usually have to scour your thrift store bins for that kind of stuff. So those we could do without, I think. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not for destroying anything. Good question though. Thanks. Next comes from H, who says, "Hey Sam, I've been playing Expedition 33, which got a ton of praise for how it modernized turn-based games with the QTE, that's Quick Time Event, and Dodge and Parry, but I actually prefer the classic turn-based over this. Are there any games you can think of that had a similar thing of being progressed where you liked an older version of it? And appreciate all you guys do and look forward to many more podcasts." Thank you. We really appreciate that. We appreciate you. Yeah, generally, to to talk RPGs for a bit, I like turn-based also. But I do like when certain bells and whistles are added for flavor. I think I don't really know I can't remember what they call it, but there's like a break system in Octopath Traveler where if you do certain types of magic spells like fire, ice, or lightning or whatever, or attack with certain weapons like swords or axes or staffs, if you do them in the right sequence, it'll break the enemy and make them susceptible to more damage, so that adds a bit of strategy. I do like that, but like full-on action RPGs like Final Fantasy VII Remake aren't really my cup of tea. I mean, I played it and it was fine, but I just prefer the original. For an example of my own, when I played Warcraft 3, I think that lost me a bit. It added some RPG elements, which was cool, but it went away from kind of just the straight strategy of like base building and army building, and you really leaned a lot on your hero characters a lot more and progressed their story, which, don't get me wrong, that's very cool, but I really liked the back to basics kind of simplicity of Warcraft 2, and that's probably why I would prefer, you know, the original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Pokemons over some of the newer ones too. Yeah, although Warcraft 3 really did revolutionize things, I think it led to stuff like Dota that started off as a Warcraft 3 mod, I think. You know, and obviously then World of Warcraft was inspired by that. So, I mean, it really changed the landscape, but it just wasn't my thing. I didn't play a lot of Warcraft 3. Thanks for that question. Next, I'm gonna say this whole thing, man. This comes from Hooley's Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, so if you didn't listen last week, we had a lengthy discussion about how you pronounce Worcestershire sauce. Or maybe that was in the Discord. Anyways, join the Discord. We talk about Worcestershire sauce and what it's made of and why it may be gross. All right, hello there, Sam. Today you're trapped in the Castlevania universe, but armed only with a zapper and 2 packs of Lunchables. What's your survival strategy, and what kind of Lunchables do you have? Well, first of all, I think I'm going to put the zapper in my pocket, because my survival strategy is to blend in. So I'm going to be one of those like ghouls that just kind of like shuffles along the, you know, in like the main hallway when you first play any Castlevania game, and there's just like hundreds of ghouls that just pop out and walk slowly. Yeah, that would be me. I would just blend in and act like one of those, and then I would just like try to sneak off every now and then and look for wall Lunchables. And my Lunchable choices would be the pepperoni pizza ones or the mini nachos. Those are my favorite. Because those little chips are fun. Anyways. Big Deal says, what is the correct way of taunting someone for being a chicken? Okay, I gotta look at the comment here because you had them all lined out. And yes, this is definitely in my wheelhouse. All right. The correct, oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I have all the screenshots of everyone's comments here. There we go. Yes, the correct way of taunting someone for being a chicken. So let's go through all of them. Letter A. Caw, 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 with clapping your hands and kicking your feet. Caw, 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 caw. That's the way it is. Yeah. It's weird seeing these spelled out. All right. B. Cha, chi, cha, chi, cha. And you have to put your hand and thumb on your forehead and kick your legs side to side. All right. C is and then you have to flap your arms to the side. And then there's letter D is cuckoo-ca-cha, cuckoo-ca-cha, and you have to just kind of throw your hands off to the side in the air. All right. So if you don't know what that is referencing, that is the Bluth family various interpretations on being a chicken from Arrested Development. And so my favorite of all of those was always George Sr.'s because it looked so ridiculous. It's such a dad, like, chicken motion. So yeah, George Sr.'s was my favorite, but also Job coming in late all the time and doing like, come on! Those always crack me up. Has anyone in this family ever even seen a chicken? That was a good question. Fallen Snow Kiku says, "Hey Sam, if you had the choice to live in either the Star Wars or Star Trek universe, which would you pick and why? The caveat is that you are a regular person living his day-to-day life." Kiku, this is a great question, and this is one I think about on a regular basis. It's Star Trek, hands down. And this probably is a surprise to a lot of you because I love Star Wars so much. I love Star Trek too, but Star Wars was really the first thing that hooked me. But the Star Wars universe is pretty rough if you think about it. And the chances that you'd end up on like an average dude on a nice planet are pretty slim. You'd end up on like some shitty ass desert planet. I mean, there's a ton of them. Oh God. I mean, there's Tatooine, there's Jakku, there's what's the one from, I can't remember the one from Rebels. Like, that planet sucks too. There's like, anywhere on the outer rim would fucking blow. So, no. Star Trek. Have you seen Earth? When they return to Earth in any Star Trek series, it looks like a damn paradise. So, yeah, they have it figured out, and it's wonderful. That would be the best place to be just an average guy, is Star Trek. Except when there's an existential threat to the planet. That would be terrifying, but I could deal with that every few years if I had like free healthcare. Anyways, Super Jess says, or is it Super JES? I'm not sure how to say that. Super Jess. We're gonna go with Super Jess. Sam-a-lama Ding Dong. What's a game you feel you can always go back to when you just don't know what to play? I feel like mine are Slay the Spire and Hades. Those roguelikes are always a good choice for sure. Gosh, I've said it. I probably go back to this all the time. Go to the well. Pokemon. I'm always down to fart around in a Pokemon game. Just, either, train up something new in an old game, just try to build out a Pokedex is just kind of calming for me, or just run it back and play the game over again. That is definitely the game I sank the most time into as a kid. A more interesting answer, though, because lately I've been building my Genesis collection. I've just been turning to my Genesis collection and picking something out of there every now and then. That's always fun, because I've not spent an extensive amount of time on all of the games that I've picked up, because sometimes I'll pick up something that looks like it's a good deal for maybe a feature quick play or episode or something. But yeah, there's some fun stuff in the old box of Sega games that I have. So yeah, those are fun to play around with every now and then. So thanks, that's a good question too. All right. You fucker. Wild card. I don't need to read the comment. I can just let you know what the gist is. He gave me a list of words that will make me chuckle, and I think there's probably 10 or 15 in here. He wants to see how far I can get into it, and I'm already laughing. So, it's not gonna be far. Hold on. Okay. Let me try this. All right. So the real answer is I don't get very far at all. I can't even start it. All right. Boobies, poopy, boner, titties, dick, dookie, nipples, Brian, wiener, the vagina. There it is. You know what? Okay, I'll finish it off. Dildo, boogers, cummy wummy, coochie, and Furby. Oh man, what a weird set. You're a depraved individual. But I'll tell you why the vagina made me laugh. It's not because of the word. It's because it's the. Just one singular, and that's what made me laugh. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. There's always those words that will just make me giggle every time. Thank you. I appreciate that one. All right. Now it's time for our new segment. This is the first time I get to play this, so I'm really stoked about this, you guys. It's called Choose One or Lose One.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on down and welcome to Choose One, Lose One, a Retrotopia game show. Try your hand and pick your power from the game of the week. But beware, because every rose has its thorn, every high has its low, and every power has its consequence. So come, roll the dice if you dare. Aim for the stars and watch out for the sting in the tail.
Big Brown Dog starts this out. Their comment is, They want the ability to unlock certain colored doors by dropping a small thermonuclear device on the ground. The explosion should not only be big enough to disrupt the door's weak electrical field, but also wipe out any and all life forms within a square kilometer, sending them back to their chosen gods. Excellent. Big Brown Dog is, of course, referring to the super bomb or whatever massive mega bomb from Metroid that opens a bunch of doors in some of the games. Big Brown Dog, your device doesn't have a timer or a remote, so you're also vaporized. Boom. All right. Blue Yoshi says, Blue Yoshi wants the ball, so they can go in ball form and go under people's legs to escape situations. My friend, every time you go under someone's legs, they rip a nasty fart. Boom! Hooli wants one of those badass suits that Samus wears, and then can roll around everywhere I go. Hooli, if you wear the suit, you grow breasts, and then when you grow into ball form, you get crushed into jelly. Boom! Big Deal says, all right, guys, I saved the animals. Am I supposed to take care of them now or something? Yes, you are supposed to take care of them, but every single one of them is a humper. Boom! Super Jess says, I'd love to experience a speed booster. I've never been the fastest fella, so being able to run past a Cheetah would be a pretty sweet feeling. Well, guess what? You can only stop by running into something. Boom! What's next? Blaine the Hoagie Man wants a pet Metroid. Well, guess what, Blaine? It sits on your head and drains your life force, and also it's not housebroken. Boom! Chris Copleen from the Retro Hangover. Oh, yeah, and I should also say, Blaine the Hoagie Man is from the Retro Riders podcast. Give them a listen. They're a fun time. Chris Copleen from the Retro Hangover podcast wants the power to not be able to unlock things until Adam tells me to, despite being an independent mercenary. Well, guess what? You give Adam the thumbs down and unlock nothing even when he says to, so you're stuck. Boom. That was a good time. I had a good time with that. Thanks, everyone. I hope this segment really takes off, because that's a blast. All right, let's turn it over to Alan for the gentleman's intro.
Welcome to the Baby Metroid Babysitting Services. Are you struggling to manage your tiny, wriggly, energy-packed baby Metroids? Feeling lost every time one of those little space rascals throws a tantrum or starts causing cosmic chaos? Well, fret no more. Introducing Metroid Other M, the babysitting service that guarantees your little Metroids are under strict supervision at all times. Developed by Team Ninja alongside Nintendo and released on August 31st, 2010, this game is your go-to galactic daycare adventure. Here's the deal. Imagine hiring the best babysitter in the galaxy, except this babysitter is totally incapable of making a move without approval from their boss. Sound familiar? That's Samus Aran in Other M, the star of our service. Instead of confidently zapping space monsters on her own, she's a nervous babysitter who freezes until she gets the green light from her manager, Adam Malkovich. Think of him as the ultimate head babysitter who micromanages every action. If your little Metroids are acting up, don't expect our babysitter to jump in solo. Nope. Samus waits, listens, and follows orders, because this isn't your usual free-range space nanny. She's more like that babysitter who won't change a diaper or feed the baby without a thorough instruction manual and a supervisor's okay. Every jump, every blast, every move approved by Adam's voice crackling in her earpiece. Why so cautious? Because this babysitting service knows that some customers just can't act without higher authority breathing down their necks. Sound like someone you know? Maybe you. Other M turns the legendary space bounty hunter into a babysitter who's great once she gets the go-ahead. It's babysitting with a headset, constant communication, hesitation, and drama included. Developed with Team Ninja's flair for tight cinematic action, and Nintendo's classic Metroid atmosphere, the gameplay mixes third-person shooting with side-scrolling exploration. It's like handing your baby Metroids over to someone who really follows the rulebook. Maybe a little too much. So if you want your baby Metroids cared for by someone who never acts without orders, a babysitter who's equal parts cautious and competent, Metroid Other M is your perfect galactic nanny solution. Samus won't let those aliens run wild, but only if she hears the boss say so first. Call now. Your baby Metroids deserve babysitting with supervision levels off the charts. How was that, guys? Are we good? Can I get authorization to stop now? Please? I just want to go home.
All right, thanks, Alan. And now, comments on our game of the week from the community. And I will open the right windows this time because I've got them all right here. Your Metroid Other M comments. I'm surprised we got so many comments because holy shit. We talked about this, but I didn't know this game even existed until this year. So, Big Brown Dog writes in and says, there are definitely other Metroid games out there that are far worse than this one. I'm looking at you, Metroid Prime Federation Force. But Metroid Other M is still one of those games I love to hate and hate to love. Once called the game that almost killed the Metroid franchise, this game is filled with poor storytelling, bad dialogue, and terrible voice direction. Even the gameplay loop is less than stellar, with boring pixel hunting scenes that break immersion, the need to point your Wiimote in all sorts of directions to activate certain abilities, and game mechanics so overpowered that they nearly all challenges removed. If you were able to master the dodge mechanic, you would understand what I mean. And yet, despite of its many flaws, this is also a game I probably played through and finished about a dozen times. And I don't know why. Perhaps I just love the Metroid franchise so much that I'm willing to overlook this game's many faults, or perhaps I'm just a sucker for sci-fi themed games with exotic environments and bizarre alien creatures that you get to blast with futuristic pew-pew toys. But for whatever reason, this is a game I enjoy playing, warts and all. Well said. I couldn't have said it any better, honestly. Yeah, this sums up my thoughts exactly. All right. Super Jess says, the baby! Yeah, storylines are a little goofy. But in all seriousness, this game is not as bad as people make it out to be. It's no Dread or Prime, and it's definitely no Fusion or Super, but it's worth a playthrough if you're a Metroid fan. Excited for the review. Thanks. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, I feel like the hate towards this game is a bit overhyped. I feel some complaints are valid and some not so much. Like, why does Samus get PTSD when she sees Ridley? Well, I don't know. Have you always kept your cool when dealing with an oversized space dragon that killed your parents and that you yourself have killed multiple times and keeps coming back? That's a fair point. And Chris Copleen says, you cheeky fuckers. Yes. Well, you know what? My time is precious, and if I can double up, I will. Damn it. Well, actually, this came about because, as Brian mentions, he recently got the Wii from his brother, and I think this was part of the collection. So I think that was really the impetus behind playing the game, but also we're going to give Retro Hangover a big plug here because you should give a listen if you want to hear more of my thoughts, and maybe I will have played some of the post-game by then. But later on this month, I'll be recording Metroid Other M as a guest with Retro Hangover. They were nice enough to have me, so I am looking forward to it. So, yeah, that was cheeky, though. Sorry. Anyways, that was great. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the Choose One, Lose One submissions, and thanks for the questions. This has gone on pretty long, I think, but it's always fun to get good interaction from the community. So before we go on too long here, Metroid Other M, released August of 2010, developed by Tecmo Team Ninja, published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Wii. Let's start the show. All right, everyone. I'm tired. You're tired. We're all tired. We're here to talk about Metroid Other M for the Nintendo Wii. And with me is Brian and Alan, of course. How are you guys? Besides tired.
You authorize me to say anything?
No. We've authorized use of We've authorized use of microphone. You may now speak.
Yeah. God. Oh man, no, I'm doing pretty good, Sam. Yeah, it's a long day. Yeah, for a guy who doesn't really have a job, but I keep myself busy.
You sure do.
Starting to go stir crazy. Yeah. Classes start up again in September, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm on a better schedule than I was last year, but I'm still going to run into some problems with us, but that's a future problem.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we always do. How about you, Alan? You tired too? It's late over there.
It is, and I am. I'm off tomorrow though, so that's not a bad
Hell
thing.
yeah.
I did just waiting to record this podcast get my ass kicked several fucking times by Probotector. So that's
Jesus
got me a little
Christ,
bit pissed
yeah.
off, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a
that
tough
said,
game.
I got to the snow level, which
Ooh.
I hadn't gotten to before, so that was pretty cool. But it still just bent me over.
Yeah.
So
It's one of those.
I'm fine.
It's one of those that you take another crack at it, and it's almost like you got to play it over several days because you'll go to sleep and get that muscle memory, and then get better the next day. But if you don't play it for a year or so, like me, you go back and you just start starting from scratch because I didn't play it as a kid.
yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Well,
No, I played through that. I made it a little bit into the game, but we'll wait till next week.
Yeah.
Sam, sorry to interrupt.
yeah, we'll see. No, I was gonna say we're here to talk Other M, and we so don't want to talk about it that we're already talking about Contra.
Well, do you know what, Sam? You are authorized to get us back on track.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. So, Metroid Other M. Where should we even start with this game?
What about our histories like we always do?
Yeah, let's do that. This is off the rails
have
already.
none.
Yeah, I really don't either. How about you, Alan? Did you play this when it came out?
No, I didn't actually have a Wii when the Wii was a thing.
Right.
So I only got that gifted to me like several years later. And obviously, as you know, I'm a fucking huge Metroid fan.
Yeah.
Am I a huge Metroid Other M fan? We'll see. But
No,
I have. I go on.
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to say, it was my brother who brought this game to my attention, and he lent me his Wii, which this game came with. And, I'm not a big Metroid fan, and I'm going to get into the gameplay, and it's not as bad as I would make it out to be. But he told me this was the Metroid game that almost ruined Metroid. And for the life of me, I can't really find anything online. I'd have to ask him more about it. But Alan, as a Metroid fan, do you think this one enhanced or kind of put a stop to the Metroid series? We kind of halted it in its track until Dread came out.
I mean, that's a really difficult question to answer because, I guess Metroid has slowed down to an extent.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting. I say patiently, but it's getting fucking harder to do for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, but that's Prime. That's not the main line. That's like I'd say like Metroid Prime is like the Mega Man X series of Metroid. It's like its own kind of separate thing, right? I mean, it's first person,
it fits right into the chronology.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
That's
Okay.
something that I'm gonna have to bring up later on again as we get into this game, because you can't talk about any Metroid game without comparing it to other Metroid games because it's got such an established kind of blueprint, I guess, for these games, and this one follows some, discards others, and it's all like this is probably the most conflicted I've been about a game that we've had to review for quite some time.
Yeah. It's interesting because we kind of skipped over my history with it, which I don't have any. So, but interestingly enough, like I'm sure you guys had at least heard of this game. I didn't even know this game existed until this year. That's how.
No, I never knew it existed until my brother gave me his lent me his Wii.
Okay, good. I'm not alone because I'm like, am I crazy or like, where did this fucking game come from? Like, and I've gone back and played. Now I've played Super Metroid and then the 2 GBA Metroids, and really enjoyed them. But it's like, man, I think I'd like to think I'm aware of things enough to know that there was a Metroid game on the Wii that wasn't a Prime game. So I guess I don't. So yeah, I didn't have a Wii. I think my parents had one, so that's the one that I have now, and I got a copy of it, and that's how I played it for the first time. End of story.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Alan. Samus Returns, is that a remake of a story, or is that a continuation?
Samus Returns, well, I mean...
That's Metroid 2.
2. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, exactly. Metroid 2 was on the original Game Boy. Great fucking game, by the way. And they kind of gave it the... kind of... not Dread, but not far off. It was earlier than Dread, obviously, but they gave it...
Oh, yeah,
that
2017.
They gave it that whole remake from the ground up. And
the reason I asked the question is because I said this was the last mainline Metroid released until Dread, and then I was looking at a website, and they brought up Samus Returns, and I wasn't 100% sure if it was a remake of the game or if it was a new game on its own. Anyways, they're not important right now, just kind of... I'm confused. Metroid is hard to follow.
That was the only one that was on the DS or 3DS, though, to my knowledge, and really like that whole era of like the GBA to the DS kind of feels like it was a transition from there being more Metroid games to more. Well, there really aren't that many Metroid games. That's a bad analogy. I'm tired. Shut up. But I was going to say there's definitely more Castlevania games on the GBA and the DS than Metroid games.
You're going to gloss over Metroid Pinball and say there's no Metroid games on the DS?
And Metroid Hunters.
Yeah, I feel
and Metroid
comfortable.
Federation Force.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I definitely feel I feel comfortable glossing over Metroid Pinball. Yes.
That being said, and while we're still completely fucking off topic, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of pinball games, but is that not the most obvious choice for a character like Samus?
Oh, absolutely.
And that,
Morph ball.
And that ability.
I still don't know how she compresses herself into a ball like that and just, doesn't get up and be like, back pain.
Yeah, I don't understand the morph ball. It makes sense in like a pixel game because it's whatever, but like it looks odd in fully 3D graphics like this game is.
Well,
it doesn't look proportionally sized to Samus.
No, it doesn't. It's like that's a whole lady there in that ball.
There's some schools of thought that suggest that she actually turns into basically pure energy, and that is how she's compressed into the ball. But there is actually no kind of consensus, even among like the developers, as to what exactly happens there. It's just some cool shit that goes on, and it's iconic.
You know what? Then we have a minute. We're gonna make Retrotopia Metroid canon right now. I say her head goes up her butt.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, like the Ouroboros.
Yeah,
exactly.
The asshole eating itself.
There we go. Beautiful. There we are. Established.
What were your guys' first impressions of the game play itself? Because it really is, I thought it was pretty unique where if you haven't played this game, you play on the Wii, obviously, and you just have the Wiimote without the nunchuck, which was what that little doodad with the extra Z button and the joystick was called. So you just have the Wiimote turned on its side, played kind of like a Nintendo controller, but it's kind of fully 3D, and then you can flip it and point it at the screen to go into first person mode. What did you guys think of that?
Do you mind if I take this one first, Alan?
Fire away, buddy.
All right. Well, I found it really neat how, like, obviously the Wii controller sideways is not a 3D controller. There's no analog sticks. There's no camera controls and stuff like that. I thought they did really well with how the game presented. It was almost a 2D platformer at times, and then it would shift into these 3D levels, and you were able to seamlessly walk around the area, so they knew what they were doing when they built the game. However, using the Wiimote and pointing it at the screen kind of broke it for me, because I get what they were doing and it makes absolutely perfect sense, but you can't move while you're doing that.
No.
And a couple of times, I would sit there and I would try to aim a missile at something, and it wasn't working for me because I kept getting hit, and it just, I felt that kind of broke the immersion for me. So, kind of a double-edged sword on how I feel about the controls of the game. Overall, not too bad. Actually, I found it very, very user-friendly.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
What do you think, Alan?
I do like that it uses the Wii remote in that particular configuration. Like, it does feel like you're just using a control pad, which is kind of both a blessing and a curse in a way, because what that does is just make me wish I was playing this on a console with just a standard control pad. It is fun, and it does play well. I mean, I would argue that the loss of the sort of analog thumbstick does make sticking some of these jumps a bit fucking fiddly, because you can never really tell exactly where Samus is on the screen.
Yeah, the jump physics were weird for sure.
Absolutely, because, you know, with the extra precision from a thumbstick, you know, it might have been a lot easier, but, you know, they're just minor gripes. Like, I agree that shifting into the first person is, I guess, kind of necessary, because, you know, it's a Wii game and they had to work that fucking gimmick in somehow. And I'm not averse to first person Metroid. You know, the Prime games are absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
It's just, I would always just find I don't know what it was, but you'd almost default to like looking down, and it's just as you shift, because, you know, I don't know how you play games, but if you're like me, you know, you're kind of slack, you know, you just hands resting in your lap and what have you, and then when you've got to suddenly shift, you're not necessarily pointing it at the right place on the screen to begin with. So there was always that lurch where I had to like bring that cursor back to where I wanted it to be, rather than being like default into pointing at this whatever fucking monster was in the way. I don't know, it's kind of fiddly because it's a Wii game, I guess, but
I would find that I would need to urgently be pointing my cursor at something, and then just the angle I was holding the Wiimote or something, it would just pick up kind of funny, and then my entire vision would just spin.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it would usually be like I'm looking down, because, you know, I've pointed the Wiimote, but I haven't raised it up, so it's just like.
How many times did you want to aim at something that you thought was in front of you, and you thought you did it right, and then all of a sudden you point the Wiimote up at the screen there, and you're aiming off like in the opposite direction for no reason?
Exactly.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, this is it. This is what I'm talking about. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Is it? Okay.
It's never just like I point the thing at the screen and I'm instantly locked on. There was always that like second or two where I had to reorientate myself to actually get back. Look, it's over there. That's what I want to be aiming at, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, if I could throw in my 2 cents here, I think I was impressed by the use. I think this game makes excellent use of the Wii technology. Like that was probably gameplay wise, they nailed it as much as they could, I think, for a game of this style. And I think it's ambitious.
Here's my problem with the Wii though, is Nintendo really did nail their games because they understood the technology, and third-party games I felt like they had some sort of disadvantage because they just never seemed to get it right.
No, the Wii
and there's
was
some great concepts out there, but first-party games was where it was at.
Yeah, the Wii was either like, for the most part, you know, it's like Mario Kart. And we haven't talked about a Wii game yet. This is our first Wii game, isn't it?
Yeah, this is.
So we should chat about the Wii a little bit, because it's kind of interesting. Like, you go to a game shop, and you look in, you got obviously, you know, your Mario Galaxies, your Zelda Twilight Princess, this game, you know, games of this nature, the Mario Karts and that sort of thing. Those games were made for this and really took full advantage of the technology. And then usually in like your cheapo section, you have your like
Red Steel,
right, or like the stupid like shovelware bullshit, like the fitness games, and like the Hasbro board game collection, I think, is one that my parents had, and like all the different like workout shit. And it's just like, ugh, like this kind of stuff is just garbage. Like, most times your shop, if you're reselling, won't even buy that shit because they can't sell it.
Oh yeah,
You
it's a
find
waste of
that
money for
like
them.
we went to a thrift store and I was like, oh god damn, there's Wii games in the case. You know, like obviously they don't want people stealing them, but I'm looking at it and it's all that it's just shovelware bullshit. So yeah, like the Wii is very hit or miss. There are some gems on it, so that's why I'm really glad that I was able to grab that one from my parents. They didn't want it anymore. They hardly used it, to be honest. But like games like this, Super Paper Mario I'm looking forward to. I think there's an Advance Wars and maybe a Fire Emblem that aren't talked about very often. At least I've not heard of them.
That would work really well.
I know. Like I'm looking forward to seeing
point
how
and click almost.
Yeah, like how games like that would use this technology. I thought that this was brilliant. It was kind of like a merger of like a traditional, 2D Metroid brought to kind of 3D life plus the first person. So it's kind of like a mainline game plus some elements of Prime.
I guess, and like I agree with what you said there, and the running around and the 3D sections and all of that works incredibly well. But I just couldn't help but just think like, you guys didn't want necessarily to put this first person stuff in there. You didn't necessarily want this to be a Wii game, as evidenced by the fact that you're only using effectively half of a Wii controller.
Yeah.
Without the nunchuck or whatever it is. And it's like, I kind of felt like they had to shoehorn in the first person as a sort of nod to the Wii. They had to use that gimmick.
Have you played Super Paper Mario? Because it uses the same concept where you use the Wii controller sideways and then you use the Wiimote as a, I guess, quote-unquote flashlight throughout the game to find puzzles and stuff.
That's fucking rad. I can't wait to play that.
So the concept, I think they actually had this concept as another way to use the Wiimote, and this is kind of game they used to showcase using the Wiimote like this in a more action-oriented environment as opposed to more RPG-esque environment, which is slower. So I honestly, truthfully, I really think they did great with the controls in this. The first person is clunky, but not game-breaking to me.
Motion control is always going to be clunky. It was such a fad. Like, it seems like it's coming back with some of the stuff they're trying to bring out on the Switch too. But man, just like that era is just defined by that's where we thought that things were going, I guess, because it was so popular. I had two more things on the controls real quick. On the platforming, I really appreciated, because I think it would have really fucking sucked if they didn't add this, but Samus could not walk off of an edge. Did you notice that? Like, you can run right up to an edge, and unless you jumped, she would not, if they didn't do that...
Oh, no, never noticed.
If they didn't do that with this kind of fixed camera angle and the D-pad to move around, I would have been falling off of shit left and right. I would have really had a hard time with it.
The same goes for the morph ball as well. You can't fall off, you can't drop down any holes without... I'm glad you said that, actually, because I noticed that while I was playing it, but I completely forgot to make a note of it. But that is some good game design right there. It
really made this way more play. I wonder if they added that later, this is gonna fucking suck if we don't put some sort of invisible barrier around all of our platforms. And then the other thing was, are you guys right or left-handed?
Right.
I use my right hand, so...
You're right-handed? Yeah. So playing Wii games for me was always interesting because I'm left-handed. And...
Ew.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I fucking hate Skyward Sword in its original incarnation. That game really fucked with me.
No doubt. Fucking hell.
But I was thinking about it yesterday because I was thinking about how I hold the Wiimote. So when you're holding that Wiimote, obviously the sensor that you point towards the TV would be in your left hand because the D-pad is up on the top of that remote, and then your 1 and 2 buttons that you use to jump and shoot are over in your right hand. But when you flip to the first person mode, you just are putting your Wiimote in one hand, and presumably because the strap is on the bottom, you would be doing that all with your right hand. Well, for me, I had to play with the strap. I didn't use the strap at all. I usually don't because I'm not an animal and I don't throw my Wiimote. But that strap is there. But if you're left-handed, like you can't use the strap to strap your Wiimote to your wrist because like I have to basically rotate.
Reach.
Yeah, I have to rotate the right side of the Wiimote down into my left hand, and I actually think that's more of an efficient motion than rotating the left side up into your right hand, if that makes sense. So I was just like, curious. I wonder if you guys had any issues with that, but I don't know. It's probably only something I thought about.
I used my right hand, and it was just natural because when I flip it over, my finger automatically went to the trigger underneath, and I could hit all the buttons because you didn't need to use the D-pad when you're in first-person mode. So there was, no problem. It was comfortable for me.
Yeah. It's just a thought, but yeah, I was like, man, the way I'm doing this is opposite of probably what Brian and Alan are doing.
I might have to just try that and just see how that feels because that's weird. I can't imagine it. But I
we
suppose
call that the stranger.
The stranger. And that's where you sit on your hand, Brian, until it goes dead. Come on.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Well, the other thing I found myself doing is in a quick pinch, I would just kind of still hold the Wiimote with two hands, but I would just kind of face it towards the screen. And so that was kind of a way to quick switch back and forth, especially when you're needing to charge your bombs or charge your health when it's low. And how awesome was that, not having to pick up bombs everywhere? I really liked that you could just hold it upright and recharge.
I did not know that at first. I got to the first boss and I fucking wasted 12 missiles. And I sat there and I'm just like, well, I'm completely fucked. Because it was that one that turns invisible and you have to use the missile to make them appear again so you can shoot them.
Oh, yeah.
And it would just stand there staring at me like I was a pathetic loser. And I'm just like, well, I am a pathetic loser. And so I turned the game off and was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get past this. And then I was talking to my brother. He goes, oh, yeah, you just point the Wiimote up and it recharges your missiles. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
See,
that was probably in the tutorial, and I forgot.
It was, and that's a problem with this game, is that they outline all of the bells and whistles in Samus's suit in the tutorial, and then, you don't, why show me all that at the beginning, and then don't show it to me throughout the game? I don't know. It's just,
those little pop-up windows that give you the hint there. Point your remote at the ceiling there, reload your missiles. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that, though. I mean, on the one hand, it is incredibly, incredibly convenient, during a fight, but I kind of missed looking for places to reload. I guess it's just what I'm used to with Metroid.
Yeah, and there were no health pickups either. It was just the save point.
Yeah, you had to recharge at the save point. So that was something else that kind of caught me off guard.
There were a fuck ton of them, though. I will say that this game really did well, giving you a lot of just different checkpoints because, of course, we're playing on original hardware, and there's really no way. I don't think there would be any way to play this not on original hardware. That's the problem with the Wii to me, unless they figure out some way to port them and do some sort of Switch Online with the Switch 2. These are just locked away forever on the Wii because it's such
give it time. There's probably some plan baking at Nintendo right now.
I mean, I hope so because these games really deserve to be played. And there's if you didn't have a Wii at that time, I mean, you can either get one or just not play these.
Yeah. I mean, the NSO on Switch 1 did not have all of the consoles that it has now at launch. I
they
think
do
it's
add.
impossible that we get the Wii added to the Switch 2.
Oh,
maybe by the time they do that, I'll actually fucking have one.
It'd be sexy to get a Wiimote for the Switch 2, how they did the GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think, could they really port this game to a modern console, and how would they deal with the first-person sections? I don't understand how it would work. I don't think it would. I think it would be...
Or they did what they did in Skyward Sword, and they just map buttons to a regular controller.
Yeah, I mean, that works for Skyward Sword, but that doesn't work, because Skyward Sword...
You hold the left button there, it puts you in first-person mode, and the right stick makes you look around, and then the right trigger fires your missiles.
I guess, yeah.
Play it in handheld mode.
There's ways,
you actually move the console around. And I'm doing the motion, which is great fucking radio.
I know.
But,
I can
imagine-
hear it. It's coming in. It's coming in loud and clear. It's like my nodding before. That was great.
Wow.
Just imagine you've got the Switch 2 there, and you press a button, it goes into first-person mode. Then you actually move and look around with
That
the
would be
Switch 2.
that would be the
That's what I'm
best
doing.
way to play it, because that would be actually very crisp. Just targeting that way, because like the Wiimote, like if your sensor's not in the right spot, or if you're just a little bit off holding your remote when you switch over, or just something happened, like a piece of dust is on the tip of your Wii penis, like just I don't know,
Weenus.
just
Your weenus.
yeah. I mean there's much more possibility for like just a wild swing when you switch to first person mode than if you were playing first person on a. It's kind of like the Pokemon Let's Go games where you go into like a first person mode to throw Pokeballs, and then you have to kind of aim with it. I mean that worked out really well. I got really good at that when I was playing that game.
I still need to play that. Those look good though.
It's so fun.
I don't know. There's probably ways to bring this game back out, but outside the Wii, I don't think the game would really be playing in the style they really wanted you to, because let's be honest, the Wii was a special beast, and it's non-replaceable. Like,
Yeah.
you'll never get that high you got when you got Wii Sports and all that stuff, and all these games done by Nintendo themselves, including this game, are locked behind technology that's just no longer used.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's true.
certainly was a vibe in that time period. Like, man, you couldn't go anywhere without the Wii hype. It was nuts. Even that South Park episode where Cartman froze
We would
himself.
have people like go to somebody's house for a party or something. There'd always be a Wii with like Wii bowling out. Like it
Absolutely.
was just, that and Rock Band at that time.
Oh yeah, God. It's funny to have like nostalgia for those days.
Well, the world wasn't on fire back then.
Though it was just a different fire.
We weren't old.
Okay, what did you guys think of? I wanted to move on and talk about this game as a Metroidvania. How did you feel about how the game progressed? Was it good? Was there
Okay.
enough exploration? Was it too linear? What did you think?
Let's start with this.
Yeah.
How can you call a Metroid game a Metroidvania?
Well,
A Metroidvania derives from a Metroid game.
a Metroidia. I don't know. Fuck.
No, it's
What?
Was it open? Was it
it's
open?
just the
Yeah.
name of a genre.
Right.
I know, but it just sounds funny there. It's like, how does Castlevania act like a Metroidvania? Well, it doesn't. But anyways, I'm
some
off
of them
topic,
don't.
But I want to jump into this because we did Metroid Zero Mission, and I surprisingly love that game, and I haven't gotten into a Metroid game before that. Like, I've tried a bunch, and it just never got into it. I like how this game plays. Honestly, it plays very, very well. It has its hiccups in the story, and like I said, a couple of stupid things where the tutorial teaches you stuff that you don't use for another 2-3 hours down the road, and you just forget about it. But
Or 10 hours down the road.
yeah, but I found this game's back and forth wasn't too bad. Like, you have 3 sectors you go into, and you're constantly going back and forth between them, and they're 3 different types of environments, and that was perfectly fine by me. And I think it was really well done, except for some of the stupid stuff we'll get into later.
Yeah.
It just I just never would call it a Metroidvania. I would just simply compare it to, say, Metroid Zero Mission, the one I played. I found this game flowed just as well as that game did. As soon as I started recognizing places, I knew where to go. I remembered where grappling points were for later on in the game. So it was really good in the aspect of how it functions as a Metroid game or Metroidvania.
You know the comparison
Yeah,
that I oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, just the comparison to Metroid Fusion. I had heard, obviously we listen to a lot of podcasts ourselves, as many of our friends have them. I've heard the criticism of Metroid Fusion that it is too linear, where basically you're told to go down to this sector, back up, down to that sector, so it's basically telling you where to go, and it's less exploring, kind of like Super Metroid or Metroid Zero Mission are. But I didn't mind it too much. But yeah, this does kind of follow that Metroid Fusion formula where it's, you are kind of shown where you need to go, and, I guess whether or not you go there is your choice.
Yeah, I mean, it does have all of the kind of necessary hallmarks of a Metroidvania, in so much as there's loads of secrets to find. There are areas you can't get to without the necessary power-ups, which we'll get there. It is more linear. It does feel like not necessarily. It's not baby's first Metroidvania, but it does lack that sort of sense of exploration, that sense of truly getting lost, which a lot of the kind of best Metroidvanias do. You're encouraged to just go off the beaten path and just see what turns up, and you don't really get that with this one. That said, the Nintendo Wii, and again to circle back to that, was kind of like the family system, so I feel like they not made it easier but made it more accessible to kind of go along with that, perhaps. I don't know, but the progression, I mean, I like the bottle ship that we're on. I like that they made the most out of the fact that you're basically in one. You are just in one space station, but they do a lot with the environments, in very creative ways. You've got all of your staples, you've got your lava, your ice, your desert, your forest, and all of that good stuff. And it never really feels contrived. It always just kind of makes sense. It's just like, okay, well, it's a research station, and we're going to see some weird shit. So that was cool. I just missed getting lost. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, I hear you. There were some points where I kind of did get lost, because what they would do is, I mean, not truly lost, like in the sense of like playing a Super Metroid or a Castlevania, but like lost in the sense that they put your objective somewhere off the map that you haven't discovered yet, because every time you save, it loads up a new section of the map. So where I would kind of get lost is I'd get kind of stuck in like one section, and I would just need to kind of go room to room and try to figure out, okay, like where is there a little hole where I can bomb and turn into morph ball, or did I miss jumping up on something, or did I need to switch something off or do whatever? So I guess from that aspect, yeah, I would get kind of lost, but in a much smaller space.
Yeah, I mean, it's not totally devoid of exploration, and it's especially if you're going for 100% of all the items and what have you, then, you do need to get creative with where you're looking and what you're trying to find.
Well, near the end of the game, the whole ship opens up, doesn't it? Like, you can go to all three sectors like in free will, and that's where you kind of get your 100% out of.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it really felt like...
I didn't do this time, but apparently I did last time.
Oh, did you really?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, going back to like history, like I have played this game before, and I have played it 100% to completion, and the amount that I had forgotten about this game, like, it was almost like playing it again fresh. I don't know if I blocked it out or something, but I don't know.
That was like me in Symphony of the Night.
There you go.
Yeah, let's move. I really wanted to talk about some of because the control scheme is unique. It made some of the boss battles anywhere between really fun and super frustrating.
Oh yeah.
So did you have like any favorites or least favorites of the bosses? Because there are a fair amount of boss battles in this game, and there are a fair amount of enemies that are treated as like mid bosses.
Yeah, that's something I didn't like so much. Was you run into this mid boss, which takes you a little bit longer to figure out and beat, and then all of a sudden they become regular enemies in the next like half of the game.
Yeah.
So you have to beat them. Ow, fuck, bit my tongue. Have to beat them the same way, and I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a little bit lame that you take a mid boss and then all of a sudden it just becomes a regular enemy.
There were two of those that really fucking pissed me off. There was like a armored horseshoe crab looking thing that would like scuttle around on the floor, and generally I really can't stand bosses that you can't hit. And I guess that does happen a lot in Metroidvanias because or in Metroid games, I misspoke. In Metroid games, because you're constantly upgrading your beam. And so you're going to encounter stuff that you can't kill, which in its own way is frustrating. But there was that, and there was this flying bastard that had these like whip tentacles. And then you encountered that one like 3 or 4 times. And that one was a real fucker. And so was and then there were these ones that looked kind of like weird monkeys that would like jump around, and they were really fast. And they did a thing too where they would become invulnerable for a bit, and that really freaking pissed me off because they're like jumping around, and then you have to flip to the Wiimote and point it at the screen and try to hit them with bombs.
That's where a lot of boss fights really broke me.
Yes.
Man, I was talking about that in the control scheme earlier. Is when you flip to the Wiimote, you can't move, and you get fucking hit while you're standing there trying to aim your Wiimote around. It was frustrating a lot of the times.
Did you ever lock onto the wrong shit? That pissed me off too. I'd be like,
time.
there's like a time like when the boss is stunned, you've got like a X amount of time to freaking lock onto it and hit it with a couple of missiles. And then you're like locking onto fucking bullshit somewhere else. It's like, Jesus Christ. And then you got to start the cycle all over again.
Yeah, even some regular enemies were like that. You had to stun them with the ice beam or something like that, then lock on with a missile. And it's just, I don't know, it got frustrating at points.
You end up having to shake the Wiimote to get it off of whatever you were locked onto and onto the thing that you actually wanted to fight. And that brings me to another fucking thing that really pissed me off. It's just like, because some of the things you'd accidentally lock onto are completely arbitrary things, and I know I'm going off the boss fight thing at the moment, but those first-person sections where you had to look for something on the screen. Now, if I can just lock onto something completely randomly while I'm just flailing around on the screen, why can I not find any of these fucking tiny little points that I need to look for to
fucking
progress the
small.
fucking story?
Yeah.
And so obscure, and it's just like, I have looked everywhere on this fucking screen. Why can I not find this thing that I'm supposed to? And it just grinds to a halt. You cannot go any further without looking for this, I don't know, fucking shit stain on the grass somewhere. It's just, for fuck's sake.
Oh, those pissed me off. I just pulled up a guide, and anytime I got to one of those points, like going from point A to point B objective wise and fighting enemies, I was like, whatever, this is pretty linear. But like, yeah, whenever it was the first person, I was just like, get the guide out. What am I supposed to be looking for here? Because it's always like some fucking pinpoint off in the distance.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh man. You know, I only figured out how to get into the like ventilation system as the what do you call it? The ball. Mm-hmm. Only by accident, because I was trying to I turned myself into the ball, and I was trying to use the bomb jump to get up to them, because I was like, oh, how the fuck am I going to get in there? It was only because I accidentally jumped and grabbed onto the ledge that I realized you could just grab the ledge and go inside.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being told to me either.
To be fair, in the old days, you would be bomb jumping up to get into shit like that.
That's why I tried it.
I would.
Because that's what you had to do in Zero Mission.
Yep, I did the same.
You're not wrong.
I do like bomb jumping too. I like just throwing as many bombs as possible.
This game lacked bomb jumping.
It did, yeah.
It did.
I don't know. It just fuck. I'm off topic of what you guys are talking about, but that just popped into my head.
Well, real quick.
Frustrating.
Real quick, we'll bring it back to the bosses, because there were a couple I wanted to highlight.
Sure, yeah.
I'd say maybe these are fresher in my mind because I beat them all last night and this morning, but I didn't find anything in the first half of the game to be particularly memorable. But the Ridley fight fucking sucks. I hate it. I hate it. So Ridley is just a giant fucking asshole in this game, and I don't even remember.
That whole scene was a giant asshole.
Yeah. Just like I said, I really can't stand when there's bosses that have invulnerability, and Ridley does this thing where it's purple and then all of a sudden it turns black and you can't hit it for fucking shit. And it goes through, I think, 3 stages of you hit it enough while it's purple that it'll get pissed off and turn black. And it's moving faster and faster as it goes. And it has tons of attacks and they all take a ton of damage off of you. I'm looking at a guide just to kind of see what the best way is to go about it. And it's like every time I look at the guide to check and see what I should be doing, I'm like, I know exactly what I should be doing. I just want to confirm because it sounds like it's a pain in the ass. And yes, it's a pain in the ass because what you have to do is point at Ridley while it's flying around and attacking the shit out of you and charge up a bomb and hit it with a bomb. And that's the only thing that you can do. So what you're doing is you're trying to like wave your Wiimote around to get a lock and leaving yourself open to being a sitting duck.
Yep.
Like I was getting my ass handed to me.
You mean missile, not bomb, right?
Yeah, I keep saying bomb. I'm sorry. Missile.
Yeah,
the missiles.
okay,
and
no.
and I don't think you have the super. I think you might have the super missile. And it's not as simple as other Metroid games where you would just like hit a shoulder button and swap to the super missile. You had to charge it up to use the super missile, which sucked because it took time. Like swapping back and forth on the Super Nintendo is instant.
Yeah, I really, really think this game could have benefited from there being a way to use missiles in the 2D mode
on the move
in a manner that would let you just shoot it straight in front of you for simple things, but you know, you could still aim it for things like boss fights that really needed it.
Yeah, like if you needed to hit a certain thing, like a certain point or something.
I mean,
yeah, but if you're just going through a level, just pump off some missiles.
I wouldn't hate the first person for the missiles just not being a thing in this game altogether. Like I would be okay with that. Like I get why they did it, but like you say, you can't move, and you know you do get a handle on the controls eventually, and you know you sort of eventually get good at that kind of sense move dodge thing, and you can do it out of first person if you're quick enough, but that just relies on you sort of knowing you're about to get hit, which in first person mode, like you cannot see everything that's going on around you, so you've no fucking idea. Like I didn't hate the Ridley fight, and I really like the way that Ridley is handled in this game. I thought that was a neat fucking touch. When you know, we'll get there when we talk about story. But there, I can. It was a pain in the ass. The biggest pain in the ass for me was before the fight even started, because you were getting blasted with fire out of nowhere, and you're just like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And you have to use this first person mode to look around the room to try and find the one spot that you need to fucking super missile, and then the lava flows in, and suddenly you can see Ridley, and it's just like, for fuck's sake, it's just like, I'm just going to stand here with my ass hanging out while there's fire blasted all around me and just hope I can find this fucking thing. It's just like, fuck right off.
Well, right. That's in the first person mode. It's like the world, it's like nothing else around you stops. It's like, hold on. Let me get into first person mode and pull my missiles out of my pocket. Well, meanwhile, no one else is doing that. Everyone else is just business as usual, kicking the shit out of you.
Exactly.
Here's a couple bosses I did like, and I want to know your opinion on them. I really liked that boss that you fought in the lava that was like a weird whale slug. Yeah, because you use the grappling hook,
too bad.
then you got to fish it out.
Oh, sorry, no. Okay, no, that was good. I was thinking of the other boss that was in the lava, but go on.
Oh, yeah. No. The one, it's like...
You're thinking of the Vorash.
I think that's the one I was thinking of, where it's like jumping over
the grapple
you.
beam to drag him out.
It was like fishing. It was cool. It was like, you fucker, get over here. I'm gonna spank you. So that was a good one. And then the weirdest one, you have to fight it twice, and it's called Nightmare. And it's got that like weird you get the gravity suit by this point, and it's got like a tail that makes like a gravity well. So the first time you fight it, it's really tough, and then you get the gravity suit, and the next time it's a little easier, but it's weird because it's like this weird toaster looking thing. And when you kill it the first time, like the front of it pops off and it like screams like a baby.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It turns up in another game, and I'm sure it's
Fusion.
something...
Yeah.
It is
I'm just
Fusion,
looking
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fusion.
I liked that,
again,
that boss.
That is a cool looking boss, but again, fight-wise, it's kind of just like... rinse and repeat, blast it, and you're done. I didn't mind that though. I liked more
after some of the putsy ones, and especially after fighting Ridley. I was like, oh god, breath of fresh air for something easier than this Ridley fight.
Yeah, I like the fights that were more like that fucking lava fish thing where you had to like, okay, I see what I need to do here. You know, I hit you, now I need to use the grapple beam to pull you out, then I hit you again. Something with just a little bit of a trick to it, like that first lava boss where, you know, you dodge around a bit and it obviously plants its hand and you're like, well, I've got the ice beam.
Oh,
now, so
that one. I forgot that. I like that one too.
I liked the ice beam. Like, I liked when the ice beam would actually cause an effect, like you that big mechanical robot when you're trying to be assassinated.
Oh, that one was fucking
And
cool
it would-
too. I forgot.
Yeah, it would freeze the arm and it would blow something off and it would change the fight a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked how the ice beam did that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Just those little tricks to the boss fights. You're just like, okay, I've just frozen his arm. Now, if I hit that with a super missile or like a missile, and then it blows it off, and you're just like, okay, now I know what I need to do. And I just like that moment of revelation rather than just a straight up, just blast, 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 rinse, repeat.
And the
Like
cool
the
thing
Metroid
is,
Queen, frankly.
yeah. Oh, the Metroid Queen. We'll talk. Let's get to that in a second. I really one quick thing I wanted to say about the ice beam is that it wouldn't necessarily coat something in ice right away, especially in a boss fight. But sometimes you would hit something a couple times, and it would start to like kind of like sparkle or frost.
over.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I almost got it. And it's just like a couple more hits. So it like was kind of a visual cue that, you know, you're doing the right thing.
track.
You're on the right track, and that was really cool. But yeah, this Metroid Queen, fucker. That sucked. I was so fucking pissed because at that point it was like, let's be honest, at that point it was like 2:00 in the morning and I was like about ready to be done. And this thing starts shitting out Metroids, which you've not seen until the very end of the game. It's like, what the fucking fuck? And you got to freeze them, obviously. Like if you've played a Metroid before, you know, like the Metroids are weak against ice, so that's why you have an ice beam and you can freeze them and then bomb them. And it's always kind of putsy because you got to swap between ice and bombs while you're getting, you know, assaulted
Bombs
by
or
all
missiles?
missiles. Yes. Missiles, ice beam, and then missiles while you're getting assaulted by these Metroids. And so first it like, you know, shits out 1, then it shits out 2, then it shits out 3. And then if you don't keep up with the cadence, which is pretty difficult, they just fucking swarm you. And then they just like attach to your head and drain your health. I was getting so frustrated. But there is a dodge mechanic. So I was like trying to figure that out. Once I figured out the dodge and charged up my charge beam, it was okay. Because if you're just running around and trying to avoid them manually and then trying to shoot regular beams at them, they dodge them like crazy.
Yeah, you have to hit the Metroids with that. I think
Yeah.
it's Sense Move or something. And it
Yeah,
instantly
Sensei Move
charges
or
up
whatever.
your beam.
Yeah, that was such
And,
a cool little thing that they did.
Yeah. I love that. But yeah, not my favorite fight. Not my favorite fight. And
Oh, I thought you were saying you liked it. I was like, no, that fucking sucked.
No, and because it's just a straight up firefight, and it's just like there's
Yeah.
nothing, there's no sort of tricks to it or anything like that. And Metroid is not necessarily known for like boss fights that have tricks to them. Like, I'm kind of a bit of a hypocrite really, because you know most of the bosses in like Super Metroid and Metroid, it is literally just blast, 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 and hope for the best. I like it when there's just a little twist, something that you just need to figure out in order to win the fight. I really enjoy that. I get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm weird. Like, I don't remember a lot of the boss fights. Like, as soon as I'm done the fight, I just kind of memory wipe myself because the only way I remembered the fights I liked was because they had an impact on me. But I don't remember that Metroid Mother Brain or whatever it is fight too well.
Oh.
I know you had to use your bombs and then you had to use the lock-on missiles, but I don't remember if I liked it or hated it.
I hated it. And it's not Metroid. It's not the Mother Brain. It's Metroid Queen. So it's like a different.
Oh,
yeah, it's like
sorry.
a different weird thing. It's like a weird dinosaur-looking thing that shits
So
out
we're
little.
going to get into that because
Yeah.
I believe it is actually Mother Brain because MB plays a very big part in
Oh
this
fuck
game.
yes, we've danced around this long enough. I think we have to talk about the story, but also like I think we should talk about how you unlock abilities and how that kind of weaves its way into the story.
Oh, let's start with that one.
Yeah, let's.
God, that was the dumbest part of this game. That part actually pissed me off.
It really did. Yeah, there were a couple of points
So-
in particular, but yeah, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, but okay, so the game starts out, you end up on this ship called the Bottle Ship. The whole fucking game is the theme of Mum. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but you start the game joining this squad that you used to be a part of, but you're Samus fucking Aran, the bounty hunter. You're beholden to no commander except for apparently Adam Malkovich, who used to be your former commander that you keep thumbs downing as a inside joke. And he tells you when you can use parts of your suit that you have. And pissed me off because you're walking through the lava level getting fucking damaged by the heat, and at some point he goes, oh yeah, now you can use the Valerian suit, which protects you from the fucking heat.
Yeah, it's like I've been walking around in this fucking volcano for like the last hour and a half getting my health drained. You think that you could fucking authorize my, yes, this would have been useful before.
But it just paints her as a bit fucking dense, doesn't it? Because it's just like...
Yes.
You don't need authorization to not fucking die.
Yeah.
Not from daddy.
Yeah, it's like,
Do you know
man,
what I
this,
mean? And it's just like...
this sucks. I should just turn on my, like, it's not even that she's upgrading any weapons. She's just saying, like, I don't want to fucking melt in this suit. I'm going to turn on the AC.
It's not
It's
not
much.
offensive capabilities, no.
Why couldn't they have written into the story something where her suit gets damaged and then Adam Malkovich finds parts on the bottle ship to help her fix it? That would have been better in continuity.
Much
It would
better.
have made the player not feel like they were being gypped out of a full-powered Samus from the get-go because some guy just decided arbitrarily that the bounty hunter, who is beholden to no commander, can't use the overpowered suit that she has.
Yeah, I would have been like, Samus, go nuts. You have this, like, amazing suit. Use it.
Yeah, just blow shit up. You know what? You could get to the end already because there's a grappling hook there, and you have a fucking grappling hook in your goddamn suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit like that, like the grappling hook, like the suit and what have you, it's just like...
The ice gun that's used too late, the fucking power beam that's used too late.
Yeah.
The single one that I half understand is the power bomb, because that is a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, that
fair
makes
enough.
sense.
But the rest of it, I understand that a Metroid game needs to find some sort of way of explaining why you can't have all the powers right from the off, and that's got to be a difficult job. Don't get me wrong, but you can't just have everything to begin with because, as Brian said, you just go straight to the end and beat the game. So fair enough. But there has got to be a better way than just say, oh, yeah, okay, boss, I'll not use my full offensive capabilities in this literal fucking space station filled with nightmares just because, you've got a hard-on for fucking chain of command. Like, fuck.
All they would have had to do is have some sort of, like, Lord knows fucking Samus monologues enough in this goddamn game. All they would have had to...
way too much.
All they would have had to do is if you walk into a room and there's like somewhere where you can't pass, not saying that like if you have a grapple beam point somewhere earlier on that you didn't need to move forward, that she would have had to activate it then, but once you get to the point where the grapple beam needs to be activated or where the Valerian suit would have been useful or whatever, like all it would have had to have done is like a little mini cutscene that says, oh, I should turn on this ability. That would be really helpful here. And then that takes care of it.
That wouldn't make sense.
It doesn't, but it's
it.
better than like being subservient to, Daddy Malkovich.
I get that. But the problem I have is the fact that why would you go into this place limiting yourself like, oh my God, life is not challenging enough, so I'm going to cut off my arms so that it's more challenging. But you have the most powerful laser. Why are you waiting until the near end of the game to use it?
Because you haven't got permission.
The explanation is just we all agree. The explanation is asinine. Like her listening to Adam Malkovich give her orders to use stuff is just frustrating in the context of this story. It's just
Do you know what you do? Here's what you do.
Turn it off, never play it again?
No, because I actually really like this game as much as we're shit on it.
I do.
You have gotten to this highly technologically advanced research station out in space, and it has gone to fuck. Basically, the ship is on lockdown. Is it such like a stretch to imagine that there is some sort of like energy dampener in every section that is suppressing the weapons that everyone is using? That's what you do. You just have this basically on security protocols, and you have to go section by section And when you get to a certain point, you basically turn off the dampener field or whatever in that area, and that will restore one of your weapons.
Well,
It's not,
Yeah, look at
it's
that.
not that hard to come up with an idea.
There you
We
go.
three came up with different ideas, all acceptably better than what they came up with.
Yeah.
And they're a professional team of story writers.
It took about 5 seconds.
yeah.
She
and then
she
the
gets
other
onto the
thing-
ship. She gets onto the ship. The first time she tries to use the missile, it obviously sparks and everything. It's like, what the fuck's going on? It's just like energy reserves too low, and it's just like, oh fuck, well something's wrong with this ship. I need to fix that before I can use that.
Yep.
Yeah, and did anybody find the voice acting of Samus to be kind of flat?
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I know she's supposed to be the lone wolf type of character, but, even lone wolves have a little bit of emotional resonance, especially with their old team. I just found her to be, like, phoning in the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's
No?
No, I agree with you. I mean, and I'm not necessarily against like the sort of deadpan sort of delivery, but they tried to have their cake and eat it as well, because they tried to make her overly emotional while at the same time just being sort of quite stony, and it just didn't fucking work.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, some of the characters, I get that, like some of them, like Melissa, what's her name? Melissa Bergman there, their tone was specific because of their character, but yeah, I just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
No,
overall, this story had so many dumb moments in it that maybe I'm just bitching to bitch right now.
It takes
did, but
itself
you know
way
what?
too seriously.
Yes.
On the whole, there is a lot that I love about this story. Like, there is a lot in this story that I really, really fucking enjoy. And,
Yeah.
let's just dive into the story, shall we?
Right.
I mean, this...
Well, I thought we already did.
Well, I mean, the bottle
Even
ship
more.
is basically... Even more. Let's dive right in. Let's delve in. The bottle ship is obviously... the Galactic Federation has been up to no good, and they are basically cloning and creating and researching all of these many awful and horrible creatures to basically create, I guess, an army of sorts. An army based on things that they've essentially scraped off of Samus's suit after
Yeah.
Super Metroid.
That was kind of fun.
That one
That
one was kind of a neat twist, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. I thought that was kind of a lame answer.
But the thing is, I love... Sorry, I just punched my desk. I love the fact that, the Galactic Federation are not the good guys here. They are very, very devious and underhanded, and they are trying to do this basically off the books and trying to get away with it. And I like the whole MB Melissa Bergman thing. I thought that was pretty fucking genius. My only problems with the story come from, permission to not die, sir, and some of the monologuing and Samus's characterization.
Yeah, you brought up Melissa Bergman. I just want to bring this up now because it's kind of eating away at me. We know the theme of this game is mom, because it starts out with a lot of the baby talk from Samus. Yeah, so I brought up that the acronym for this game is MOM.
blew me
MOM,
away
that
with
blew your
that.
mind.
It did blow
Move the M over into in front of other, and what do you get? Mother. Then you also have the connection. Madeline Bergman is the other mother to Melissa Bergman, and the other mother brain. So this game just really feeds off of Mother. The bottle ship obviously looks like a gigantic baby bottle. It too on the nose for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
on
a
the
bit.
nose.
It is a bit.
I mean, some of that I picked up, and some of it I did not. But yeah, I mean, but this whole idea of them effectively cloning, and let's fuck it. No, you can't find this game, you can't play it anywhere, so I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of it.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah, if you have a Wii laying around and you're interested in playing this game, it can be found relatively inexpensively. So if you don't want spoilers, we're going to spoil more.
Yeah. We're going to go over the story, and it's still not going to matter because it's a bit confusing at times. And then there's a couple of, let's call them plot devices.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so basically they cloned Mother Brain because they wanted to clone Metroids and they needed something to control the Metroids. So they cloned Mother Brain from whatever was left over after Super Metroid. And just as a sidebar, that opening cutscene where it basically does the ending of Super Metroid is fucking awesome. Just, I love that so much.
That's where the story peaked.
But yeah, so they basically make a new Mother Brain and house it inside this, I guess, android, Melissa Bergman. And
No, they didn't make a new Mother Brain cloning it. They made an AI Mother Brain, didn't they?
I guess so.
That was
All
it. They
right,
put
but
its consciousness into
They made the
android.
AI. When the AI grew, they turned it into Melissa Bergman, who then took human form, then developed emotions, and then developed betrayal, and then she ended up killing everybody.
I was gonna say, Jesus
And
Christ, we
Madeline
can't even
had to
figure it
stop
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I told
Basically-
you, by the end of this, you can still play the game.
She got very overly emotional as a mother to the Metroids, and they decided, well, we're just going to take away your sense of conscience. And gee, guys, how did that work out for you? You know,
It didn't.
'cause now she doesn't fucking care about what she's doing. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. But I liked the whole angle of them cloning and bringing back the Metroids to an extent. I have one major gripe.
Go on.
I mean, I could do this now. I mean, it all pertains to Samus's characterization through this game because, as we've already touched on, subservient to somebody else, which, okay, I get. But this game leans heavily on a lot of flashbacks and a lot of delving into what made Samus originally who she was. The problem with this is this game takes place. Let's see. So we've got Metroid.
Canonically, doesn't it take place right after Super Metroid?
Super Metroid, yes.
Yeah.
So we've got a Samus who is basically experiencing a coming of age story in this game and learning how to like not rely on other people and, you know, to get over her past and what have you. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. This is trying to basically frame itself as kind of an origin story, just like not an origin story in so much, but what this game forgets is that we've had Metroid 1, Metroid 2, 3, eventually 4 Prime games, Super Metroid. This girl has been around the fucking universe.
Yeah.
Just basically just kicking ass and taking names, and now we're supposed to believe that she's suddenly this vulnerable, unsure of herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was actually...
It's weird.
Yeah, that was one of my problems with the story as well, is it didn't really portray Samus as the badass you guys made her out to be. Yeah, she really did have that needs approval from Adam Malkovich sort of tone going on. And
It made no sense.
Yeah, with the
and
thumbs
she was unsure
down,
of herself
thumbs
way
up.
too often.
Yeah.
And
I
you know
wouldn't-
what?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what fixes that is that if this game were a prequel to the original Metroid, I would have no fucking problem with it. If somehow that characterization of Samus and that interaction with her team, I mean, you couldn't have the bottle ship and you couldn't have the Metroids because they're not part of it now. But if you have this as what made Samus Samus before she started the first Metroid game, I would have zero fucking issue with it.
There would have been a way to do it while maintaining the game. The flashbacks could have been, showcasing how she became the bounty hunter she is, and mix in some Metroid 1 stuff in there so you can make the Metroids fit into the game. I don't know. There's a way. We could probably sit down and workshop it.
There'd be a way.
a
There'd be a way
retro
to evolve it to where, like, oh, these become Mother Brain in the Metroids or something like that. Like Prometheus is to Alien, even though that movie kind of
I
sucks.
guess. I guess.
It's a
It's
bad
just-
example,
it's
but
just-
yes.
It's just trying to believe that this character is that sort of not needy, I guess, kind of needy, kind of like not sure of herself, and she makes some stupid fucking decisions in this game, like the weapon stuff notwithstanding, going back after the game for that entire next section
Yes.
just makes zero fucking sense, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I could buy this as an inexperienced young Samus.
You know,
Yeah.
let's the part that got me was Samus having that PTSD moment when Ridley showed up and she locked up. I get that, you know, she killed Ridley and that was her big nemesis there, but when he showed up and she locked up for that way too long of a cutscene, and that dude ended up jumping off the lava, who I'm going to get into in a minute here. You know, the guy with the big friggin' laser gun on his pack, one of her former allies. Yeah, well, after she finally beats Ridley there, like, if smartens up and beats Ridley, there's no mention of the trauma Ridley did to her after. She's no longer like huffing and puffing. She's not like freaking out like, you know, I can't believe I did that again. I can't believe he was alive. Nope. There was just this long, drawn out, she locks up, can't move, can't like even face Ridley moment until her buddy dies. And then she gets into the fight there. And then after it's like, okay, he's done. Let's go on to the next thing.
I guess.
Adam, can I unlock something new?
Yeah, I've got no problem with the trauma on seeing Ridley. I mean,
I don't either, but it was just dismissed, and
I guess
they spent too long on that cutscene. I'm sorry, that cutscene drove me nuts because they could have tightened that up.
Oh, there was
Well,
one
you
that
can say
pissed me
about
off
a
more.
lot of the cutscenes in this game. You can
Yeah.
say that about a lot of the cutscenes. In
Fucking
this game.
Kojima level cutscenes in this game for some fucking reason.
Oh yeah,
It's like, it's Metroid,
okay, so that guy.
a game that has a very thin story to begin with, and we're gonna flesh this out like it's a fucking movie.
Yeah, and that guy who fell off the platform becomes a plot device later. And the worst part about that one is not that they used him as a plot device, it's that they show a flashback of him not dying, but don't show him not dying. He shoots an ice beam at an enemy, and then it flashes back. He doesn't catch the enemy. He's still falling towards the lava. Did
Yeah.
he slip off and die? But it doesn't show how he survived. It just shows he shot somebody on his way down.
He didn't.
Yeah, it's just
it
kinda,
doesn't show him
oh, this-
surviving.
this
it just
solves
shows
it.
him kind of not dying in the way that you
Yeah,
thought that he
it's-
died.
And it's just like, this is too much of a plot device. And, you know, the other plot device of him showing up at the end there so Samus doesn't get arrested.
Yeah, that's like,
Like,
come on.
This guy's falling. Some stuff happened, and now he's back.
Right.
Yeah. There you go, princess. All of a sudden, I'm in command of this guy who looks like a general because some dude told me to. Come on, Samus, let's go grab Adam's helmet and get the fuck out of here.
Why
Okay.
does she go back for Adam's helmet? I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I
Daddy issues.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, I get.
Well,
I get what they're trying to do, the
Yeah.
sentimental angle and what have you. But Samus, you are smarter than this.
and
Like,
and her boyfriend was his little brother that he allowed to die at some point in a
Yeah, of course.
unrelated incident, whatever. That's just like,
And
why am I
that
watching
incident
this?
comes up again. She's like, Adam, trust me, I can get this done. He's like, no, princess, or whatever.
Yeah.
No, baby. And then he runs and kills himself.
Right. Yeah.
you couldn't detach that part of the ship from outside the thing. Anyway,
Hold on. There's
Probably could have. I mean, he could control the whole ship from that front panel there, so why did he have to go inside that part to blow it up? It was probably explained. I was probably just too angry at the time.
Yeah, there was.
Brian.
I will admit that I didn't pay much attention in the back half of the game to the story because I was just so fucking over it by that point. And also,
Oh, burnout, yeah.
yeah, I just total burnout. Plus, there were two things at the end of the game that really fucking pissed me off, and that I think will cost this game some points when we come around to scoring it. To actually destroy the Queen Metroid, the Metroid Queen, there is, of course, a fucking cutscene, and then it flips you back to your first-person mode, and you have to shoot either a charge beam or whatever at it, and then you have to grapple into its mouth. Then you turn into a morph ball, and you go down into its stomach. Well, unfortunately, there's stomach acid down there, and they don't tell you that you can suddenly use the super bomb or whatever, the fucking mega bomb. So the first time it happened, I just fucking died. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
the first 5 times I did it, I fucking died.
Yes.
I've played this game before.
So I had to, I just immediately, like I said at that point, just like in all of the little I Spy sections that we did, I just looked to the guide right away, and it said, like, this is something that frustrates a lot of people about this game, is every ability that you get, whether Adam gives it to you or at the end, whether Samus decides to activate them herself, she actually tells you, or they actually tell you in a monologue and pause the game for you and show you the ability being activated, but not here. And that's really important because you cannot finish the game without blowing up Queen Metroid with a super bomb. So I was really fucking pissed. And when I died, I was like, oh my God, are you going to make me fight all those little fucking Metroids again and do this whole frustrating boss fight over again? And luckily, no. So I don't know, that to me, that's egregious. And that is just lazy design. And I think someone just fucking forgot to add just a little extra bit. You were so fucking concerned with making a 3-hour-long movie between all these goddamn cutscenes that you forgot one of the most important little bits that you could have put into the game, which is just telling you that you are now authorized to use the bomb.
Which you didn't really need authorization. You could use
no, you could have just fucking used it the whole time. As soon as Adam was out that airlock, Samus should have just reactivated everything on the Swiss Army knife is that suit.
Just flick the God mode switch.
Yes. And then last thing, the cutscene at the end where MB or like the Melissa, is there a Madeline and a Melissa? I don't know. I couldn't keep them fucking straight anymore. But basically,
Melissa's the younger one who's the AI brain.
Yes.
Madeline is the doctor that created her.
Yes, the doctor and the AI brain reunite and whatever, and then the AI brain fucking goes nuts again when the soldiers come in, right? Because it feels threatened, and so it shoots a bunch of fucking monsters at you again. Well, I'm watching this cutscene, and I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating. I gotta be at least 10 minutes deep into this fucking cutscene, and I've put my Wiimote down. I've made peace with the fact that I've beaten this game. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm ready to go to bed after I roll credits on this fucker, and it throws you right back into first-person mode, and I'm getting attacked again. I'm like, what in the absolute fuck? And it doesn't, again, it just throws you in. It doesn't explain anything. It's just you're being attacked again and you got to figure this shit out. And what it turns out to be is that the fucking AI, you know, the MB Melissa is just kind of standing there in the background while all this fucking shit is happening. And I can't tell whether or not I'm supposed to shoot missiles. Am I supposed to just shoot my wave beam? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to kill all these? Like, if you see a bunch of monsters on screen, your first thought is, I better kill all these fucking monsters. And that's not what it is. You have to actually shoot Melissa. So finally, I guess, Alan, you helped me, because by this time, Alan's on the fucking bus on the way to work. I'm chatting with Alan. I'm losing my goddamn mind about the end of this game. And he's like, oh yeah, you have to somehow, like, you know, shoot through them and get to Melissa. I was like, okay, well, I just abandoned bombs altogether and just started shooting the wave beam and eventually hit her. It was like, that was it? Like, you couldn't have, like, dropped in, like, a little piece of dialogue, like, I better stop Melissa. That would have helped.
Yeah, but
8 out of 10.
Oh, no, it's not going to be an 8 out of 10. And I really, just in general, I will say this. I really fucking hate when you've finished a game and there is a cutscene, or you've beaten a final boss in a game and there's a cutscene and you set your controller down, you're all set to go, and then they bring it back in and you got to fucking do something. No, I fucking hate it. It should be illegal. It's fucking bullshit. If I finish the game...
Bring it right up to the highest levels of Congress.
Yes. Executive order. Stop fucking doing executive orders on tariffs and give us one on cutscenes in video games. No, I don't want to go
right
from
to the UN.
Yeah.
Make it a humanitarian thing.
It is. It's a war crime.
My next question for you, Sam.
Yes.
Is, did you play any of the stuff after the game?
No, I had to. You know why I had to? Is because it doesn't give you another save point for like a fucking hour between the point where you save before you fight Queen Metroid and the part where you go through all of the credits, which you can't skip, the huge cutscene before them, and then she lands her goddamn ship back in the bottle ship, and you have to go walk through the bottle ship to get to a save point. It was like a fucking hour between those two events. It's like if I beat the boss and I've rolled credits, it should just give me a little save feature like right there, because I'm done
100%.
at that point.
But the reason
I
I ask is that when you get back to the bottle ship, it actually says you can now use power bombs.
Oh yeah, thank you for telling me that I can use power bombs. That's so cool. I've already fucking used one because I had to look it up.
Oh god.
Oh no, that was bullshit.
That's awesome.
Fuck that. I missed
that after credit scene because I didn't know about it, and when the credits rolled, I just turned it off because I'm fucking done with this. So,
if you want to go through and play more,
yeah.
then you're gonna have to beat the final boss and sit through all that shit.
No, I'm not. I just watched a video on it because I was not doing that.
Yeah,
well, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up a few things about this epilogue, as it were. Because yes, Samus has gone back to the ship, which is scheduled for self-destruction very, very shortly, in order to retrieve Adam Malkovich's helmet. And in doing so, you've basically faced the true final boss of this game. For some reason. Because for some reason, here's Fantoon, which is an incredible boss design, an incredible boss from Super Metroid, and a pleasure to see back again. I just have no idea why, and neither does the game, because it does not explain why this fucking thing is suddenly just popped out of nowhere, having survived Super Metroid, and it's now attacking you on the bottle ship for no fucking reason. Other than, well, we've had a few bosses from Super Metroid turn up. Should we just shoehorn in another one for some reason?
Which one was it?
Fantoon.
Fantoon.
Is that the one you didn't see because you didn't play the after credits?
No, I didn't play the fucking after credits. I would have.
So yeah, you didn't see this boss.
It's a cool boss. It's a cool boss fight. Don't get me wrong. I just don't fucking know why it's there. And then Samus finds the helmet, and at this point, she's taken off the suit so she can interact with this helmet. And then, in the style of all great survival games, the self-destruct system has now been activated. So you have 5 minutes to basically run from that command deck all the way back to your ship. And what I don't understand is that she does not put her fucking suit back on.
That takes 6 minutes to reactivate.
It doesn't even... No, it doesn't... Not it doesn't take that long to reactivate when it hasn't been powered down forcefully. She could just turn it on and off whenever she likes. So you are running through the entire level back to that ship in the Zero suit. And
well, this is like Metroid Zero Mission again, where they have to have a friggin' Zero suit section.
Ugh.
Which is fine. Fine.
I hated
but it
that.
makes no sense. Give me a good reason that she's in the Zero suit, not just because we've
those
got
hips.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because
yeah, it's just so contrived.
Yeah. Now that you know Samus is a woman, now they have to turn her into a sexual being. So the Zero suit is skin tight.
Yeah.
And,
the entire
the
ship's
breasts are bigger than the
destroyed.
actual Valerian suit.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Like her proportions, like not to be like gross about it, but like I don't understand how we don't understand how she turns into a ball. Like I don't understand how she fits into that suit with the proportions they give her when she's out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
just shoves in there like a corset there.
It's
all
like
her guts are being rearranged.
Yeah, it's like the Metroid Power Suit by Spanx. It's like formwear or whatever.
Oh, we've been going at this for a while.
Yeah, I know. There was so much to talk about, though. I mean, like, and I'm sorry, I had to go on that rant about the fucking...
It's not a good episode without a Sam rant.
It pissed me off so much.
I feel like,
God.
What did I say before we started? That podcasting is therapy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
You got some shit off your chest now.
Oh, guys, I forgot to hit record. I'm kidding.
Oh, well,
I'm kidding. You just laugh. You're like, no, you didn't.
Me and Alan laughing.
No, you didn't, you fucker.
That was. Can you imagine that'd be a fucking long section to have lost out on?
Oh, I know. Well, let's score this thing and wrap it up. Oh yeah, you should throw in an emergency backlog episode. Shit.
We've been monologuing like longer than Samus does. So.
To punish me, you'd make me like re-record that whole thing as a solo episode.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's score this thing in because we've gone on long enough. I think there was a lot to talk about for this game. It's a unique game and it's a unique entry in the Metroid series. So I'm glad we took the time. So sorry, Alan. I know it's late for you, but why don't you go first and score this thing?
All right, I'll do that. I mean, I love Metroid. I love almost every single Metroid game, and you know, I'm not going to say that this is an exception because I do really, really like this game. I think it does a lot of things very, very well. I think it's slightly hobbled by the fact that it had to be on the Wii. Not that there's anything wrong with the Wii. I just think I would prefer to have seen this game. You know what? I mean, this would have slapped on something like the 3DS.
Oh, with the stylus.
Like with the remake of Metroid 2. You know, it controls well for the most part. I mean, there are some fiddly jumps and what have you, some issues with perspective, but you know, nothing really to sort of cost it any points. We didn't touch on the music, but it's Metroid. The music is always fucking great. It's just one of those series. They cannot get it wrong. My issues, again, beyond the fact that you have to use that Wii gimmick, which I don't love, you know, all of my issues with this game do come from the story itself. And while there is a lot to love here, you know, again, I do love the cloning aspect. I do love the sort of shades of grey that come with what should be a trusted organization, using nefarious means in order to gain power. You could say that about fucking anything, couldn't you? There are just some interesting choices with regards to characterization that I just don't agree with. Not at this point in Samus's story. It all just comes down to that dependence and the almost just blind faith that Samus has in this Adam Malkovich character that just seems to override her common sense at times. You know, there is a lot that she could do to not get herself killed if she just had, I guess, the balls that she's shown in every other game. It's a bit like, you know, you watch Aliens, like Ripley takes no shit from anyone in that fucking film, but still comes off as very sort of motherly and, you know, they strike a good balance there of the emotion and the powerfulness. I don't know. It's late. I'm tired, but still, it's still fun at the end of the day, and I had a good time playing it. I probably will play it again someday. You know, I enjoyed my time with it. It's just some of the things just had me like, I can see what you were trying to do. I just don't know why you're trying to do it. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'll be generous. You know, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. By no means my favourite Metroid game by any stretch, but still not my least favourite. So, you know, that'll do me.
Awesome.
Ooh. My turn?
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
All right. Oh, man. Geez, what can I say about this game? Obviously, I rant over and over and over again. I'm not a huge Metroid fan. This game I found very playable. I found it actually, I was enjoying myself. The graphics in the game are actually really, really good, and we didn't really talk about that, but it's a very beautiful game. It suffers nowhere in the graphics department, especially if since it comes off the Wii. Control-wise, I've already said it. The taking the Wiimote and using it standing still to shoot missiles, that was a huge crutch in this game, and obviously it was just to use the gimmick of the Wii. That's why they built it in there. Very plainly, very obvious. The story was both good and bad. There was some really neat stuff, like the little white monster that you see at the beginning of the game that eventually turns into one of the bigger bosses later in the game. I'm not going to get into that because that's you got to play.
That. Yeah, fair.
Yeah. The Adam Malkovich relationship with Samus broke it for me because I originally saw this kind of as a Samus's origin, not really origin story, but kind of how she turned into who she is. And I thought that's what was going to be explored in this, but really it just explored the relationship between Adam Malkovich and Samus Aran. And that relationship is not great because she just basically dropped any self-awareness or self-control in order to have Adam tell her what to do. And it's just like she fell back into that being a soldier again. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the plot devices stuffed in there to move the story forward. Like I was talking about the soldier who keeps calling Samus princess. And that's how they finish the story off and save Sam. It was lazy. And I wasn't a big fan of that. I figured the twist out fairly early on. It didn't surprise me at all because it just seemed too on the nose that you were meeting this one character at the time you met that character, and then all of a sudden Adam disappears. It just I don't know. I saw through it, and maybe I'm a genius, or maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. Music, I'm not a big fan of Metroid's music, but this game did not turn me off because of the music, so I barely noticed it. What else can I say about this game? Not much. As somebody who doesn't like Metroid, you would expect me to give this a really low score, but I'm going to give it a solid 6 out of 10. Like, I actually found this one fun to play. Just, yeah, a couple of times it got in its own way.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
Well said. All right. I'll go. I think you guys covered.
Come on, sum up, Sam.
Yeah, I will. I think you guys covered a lot of what I wanted to say, so I don't want to take too much time here. And I absolutely firebombed the end of this game. Brian, you put it best. I think this game does get in its own way, and I think actually the story is so cumbersome that it gets in the way of the gameplay at times. Case in point being, the way that they roll out the new powers, the way they forget to fucking tell you that you have certain powers, like the super bomb. It's like it really felt like they were so focused on making this, this elaborate cutscene, set piece thing that they didn't want to bother to tell you that you had an additional power. And that's just shitty design. Then there's really no excuse for it. Alan, you said that you didn't super like the first person. You seem kind of on the fence about the first person. I thought it was brilliant. I really liked that. Obviously there's flaws to it, and there's definitely flaws just to that style of control in general. It's not intuitive for everyone. I think it's meant to be, and it is, and it can be in certain games, but not necessarily in like an action platformer. It makes things kind of difficult, but I think it took full advantage of the technology and really made a unique game. So I had fun while I was playing it. Not in certain parts were very frustrating, but I think it's interesting to think about like doing a replay of it. I think I would enjoy it more on a replay than I did on my initial playthrough, because I would know exactly what to expect. I would already know what pissed me off about it, and I think I would deal with it better. Like going in knowing that I needed the super bomb to finish the game would be great. Going in kind of
forget that again.
No, I won't forget that again for sure. Going in knowing, you got to make sure not to set down your Wiimote here, whatever. Like I'm not to be super focused on the end. That's not the object here, but some of the dodging mechanic, I didn't really quite understand how that was working until, towards the end of the game. And again, they explain all of this in the beginning, which kind of stinks. Like I wish they would have worked some of the tutorial into, kind of like on the ground, like once you're in the bottle ship, some of that tutorial stuff might have been nice. So like they do pop up little reminders and stuff, but when you're crammed with all that information at the beginning, like you're going to forget more than half of it by the time it comes time to use it anyway. So that kind of hurts it a little bit, but it's kind of interesting. I think if I were to play this again, I'd probably give it like a 7.5, but just my initial playthrough, some of the things that pissed me off really pissed me off. I'm going to give it a 6.5. 6.5.
Just had to be better than me.
I'm somewhere between Brian and... Do you give it a 6, Brian?
Yeah.
I can't remember at this point already. I forgot. Sorry. So yeah, I land somewhere between Brian and Alan, but I think if I played it again, it'd probably be a 7.5. You know, it's an above average game. I had fun playing it, and you know, I enjoy the Metroids, so I'd play it again.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, that wraps it up.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. You are now authorized to go to bed, Alan. Just as I was very early this morning. Yeah, so just real quick before we get on out of here, Linktree/Retrotopia. You can find the links to everything, including the Discord and the merch. I just ordered mine. It's a very easy process, and it comes on Monday. So I'm going to be looking fresh with my Retrotopia gear. As Brian said, I'll post pictures. It looks like I'm starting a Retrotopia softball team, because I got a hat and a baseball shirt. Because I like both of those things, but put together, yeah, it looks like I'm starting a fucking Retrotopia softball league. But yeah, go grab that stuff. Join our Discord if you're not. Really want to push that, because that's become a really fun place for people to just hang out and chat, and it's a very welcoming and fun community. So join us over there. It's free. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
No, just if you want to partake in the episodes by commenting to the host or the game of the week there, you can also listen to Quick Play and Retro Bites 15 days early. You can head over to patreon.com/Retrotopia, where you can join for free.
Hell yeah. And we got a
little Bill Bird there.
We got a new Retro Bites coming up soon, and what are we covering next week?
Oh my god, we're covering a game that actually we are going to be playing separate games. Me and Sam will be playing one game, Alan will be playing another, because it is coming from our different continents.
That's right.
We'll be playing Contra over here in North America, and over in Europe he's going to be playing Probotector.
Probotector.
All
Which
right.
is what Contra is called over in the UK.
Because it uses Probotechs.
Both of them sound like
guess.
condoms. I'm sorry, like just different kinds of condoms. It's a Contra.
Well, yeah, it's a contraceptive.
Yeah, and a Probotector, so it protects your Probo from getting protected. I don't know. Yeah. This is, anyways, yeah. All right. And until next time, you are fully authorized to listen to this podcast.